By midday, a third of Catalans who can vote had done so in parliamentary elections, including the former president Carlos Puigdemont and his wife. He remains in self-imposed exile in Belgium after the Spanish government charged him with sedition. Today is not a normal day, with candidates in jail and candidates in exile, the intervention of institutions in our country. Also, the elections are marked with a lack of freedom of expression. Having said that, today is a very important day, not just for the Catalonia of today, but for the Catalonia of the future. Everything indicates the response of citizens will be positive and will be high, and this is what we hope for by the end of the day. In Puigdemont's place and casting his ballot for him was 18-year-old Laura Sancho, voting in her first election. The vote is too close to call, but its result will show whether Catalans have become more separatist since Madrid launched a brutal crackdown on the banned independence referendum held in October.
Australian authorities say an SUV deliberately ploughed into pedestrians in central Melbourne, injuring 14 people, including a small child. Police have arrested the driver as well as a second man, but did not identify them. The incident happened at a busy intersection on Flinders Street, near the city's main train station.
At this stage, we believe it's a deliberate act. Can I repeat that? At this stage, we believe it is a deliberate act. However, we do not know the motivation, and it is still early stages of the investigation.
The injured were taken to hospital. Among them, a preschool child who sustained a serious head injury. The city's streets have been packed with Christmas shoppers, and the rampage carries chilling echoes of recent truck attacks by Islamist militants across the world. Australia has been on a high terror threat level since 2015.
The first Secretary of State, Damien Green, has resigned from the UK government. It will be a blow to Theresa May, as he was a key ally in her cabinet. But the cards have been stacked against him since a woman said he made inappropriate sexual advances toward her, and then it was revealed that thousands of pornographic images were found on his parliamentary computers in 2008. It looked like Green could cling on in May's rapidly crumbling cabinet, but Downing Street released a statement saying that the Prime Minister had written a letter to Green asking him to resign after an internal investigation found he made misleading comments about the pornography on his computers. Theresa May conceded that she would permit a short delay in Britain's departure from the European Union in exceptional circumstances, bowing to criticism from her own party over the government's plan to fix the exit date in law. The decision is a compromise with Conservative lawmakers, who last week rebelled again against the Prime Minister's plans.
Not that long ago, the right honourable gentleman was saying that he would be Prime Minister by Christmas. Well, he was wrong. I am, and the Conservatives are in government.
But the European Union has now come out saying it wants the transition period after Brexit to end no later than the last day of 2020, restricting Mrs May's options. That date had long been expected as the target endpoint of the transition, but this was the first official confirmation that it's the goal of the union's negotiators.
In the Philippines, a ferry with 251 people on board has capsized during bad weather off an island near the capital, Manila. Officials say 240 people have been pulled alive from the water, but at least 4 others have been killed, with 7 still missing. Search and rescue operations have been hampered by heavy rain and huge waves caused by a tropical storm affecting the southern Philippines. Accidents involving boats sailing between the many islands of the Philippines are common. Vessels are often overloaded, but authorities say the sunken ferry had the capacity to carry 280 people.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate everybody.
U.S. President Trump threatens to cut off American aid to countries that support a UN resolution calling for him to withdraw his decision to recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel.
You've seen all the charts. They take hundreds of millions of dollars and even billions of dollars, and then they vote against us. Well, we're watching those votes. Let them vote against us. We'll save a lot.
U.S. Ambassador to the UN, Nikki Haley, already warned the U.S. will be taking names at an emergency session of the UN General Assembly later today. When all the other members of the UN Security Council backed the text on Monday, she called the vote an insult the U.S. would not forget. Trump's declaration 2 weeks ago sparked an outcry around the world and nearly daily protests in the occupied Palestinian territories, including here in East Jerusalem, which Palestinians want as the capital of their own independent state.
Televidentes, el que nos ha presentado en Noticia Internacional. Ahora nos tomamos un corte publicitario y ahora nos está back el deporte junto con nuestro colega Carl Reuter.